Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 6 of the Halloween Craft Countdown for 2021. Today I'm going to show you how to use one of my favourite card making products, and that is Nuvo Shimmer Powder from Tonic Studios. This is my little collection of Nuvo drops and shimmer powders. So it's the shimmer powders we'll be using today, which is these first 2 rows. They come in these little bottles and they are so colourful and magical, and best of all, they're really easy to use to make incredible effects on your handmade cards. Nuvo shimmer powders come in these little bottles and they all have the colour on the front. So for this, as I'm doing a Halloween card, I've chosen Storm Cloud, and then Violet Brocade, Catherine Wheel, and Meteorite Shower. So these are all kind of dark, deep colours, which will give me a really nice nighttime sky feel. And then I have a spray bottle here, which I've just filled with water from the tap. Let's move these all over to the side and get some paper. The best paper to use for these is watercolour paper because it will help with the absorption of the spray bottle water. So this is just a watercolour pad I got on Amazon, and I've protected my work surface with some sheets of copy paper, or you could use newspaper or just something on there because it does tend to spray quite a way, so you just want to make sure you don't get a load of the paint onto your surface. Here's my sheet of watercolour paper, and I'm going to start by just taking the shimmer powder, get the lid off, and then turn it upside down and just tap it over the watercolour paper. Now, when I was first given these, because I got these as a birthday gift from my husband, I was a little bit confused because I didn't know what they were. I thought it was just this powder, and I was not sure why I would really want that to go on a card because it rubbed off easily and it was messy and it just didn't really look that impressive. It wasn't until I was going down the YouTube rabbit hole one day that I saw a video on how you actually use it, and then it completely blew my mind once I realised what it did. So I've put my 4 colours on here, and now this is where the magic happens when you get the water. So I'm going to spray this from a distance and you'll see what happens. Are you ready? Look at that. It just transforms. And each of those powders, when they go on, it looks like it's just one colour, but when you spray it, you can see each bottle is filled with a whole rainbow of different colours, and you get this amazing effect where they all mix together. Now, when you're happy with your design, you can just leave it to dry. I'm going to use a heat gun to dry it because I'm impatient, and I also think it does look a little bit better if you dry it straight away. Now, you can add more powder to it when it's wet. So if I just take the Storm Cloud one, I've got quite a big bit of liquid here. So let's add it directly into the liquid. And then you can watch as all of the colours come out and it starts reacting with that water. I'm just going to grab another piece of paper and show you another way you can use it. So for this one, I'm going to spray the paper first. So I'm just adding water to that. And this time I will drop the shimmer powder onto the water. And you can just see it explode. It's like fireworks. It looks so good. And what I like is that you get a different design every time, just because of how the powder falls and the way it reacts with the water. So this way it doesn't quite blend in as much if you get the water on the card first. But you can see as this is expanding, all of the different colours that are in the shimmer powder. And then I will add one more, which is my Storm Cloud, my darkest colour. And these little bottles go a long way. You don't use very much of it at all. And you might find if you're doing it with the water on first that you kind of want it to fill in the gaps a bit more, so there's still quite a lot of white along here. So if you want to, you can just spray it again to help mix and direct the ink or paint, not quite sure, to fill in those gaps. You can also tilt the paper to make the colours run into a certain direction if there's just a little place you want it to go. So that's two different methods of using the shimmer powder. So this one was where we put the powder on first and then sprayed it, and you see it's much more blended and the colours have all mixed together more than this one where we got the paper wet first, and then your kind of colours tend to stay more in the little blocks unless you spray it again afterwards to mix them. So I'm now going to dry it, and I've got my little embossing heat gun here, and this might get a little bit noisy, so apologies for that. Hopefully you can still hear me talking, but I'm just placing this above, and you might not be able to tell on the video. I think my arm's in the way. Let's try this one. But this will dry any of that water that's still on the design, and keep it moving. You don't want to burn your paper, but this is much, much quicker than leaving it to dry naturally. I've now dried both of these, and my paper's curled a little bit at the edges where it got wet and then hot. So what I'd probably do when they're completely dry is press them under some heavy books for a day or so before I use it in my craft projects. These shimmer powders have mica powder in them, so they have a beautiful sort of shine and shimmer, almost like glitter, when you move them into the light. And they make beautiful cards. So here's a little look at some of that shimmer on these two. Now I thought what I'd do is show you some other backgrounds I'd made with the different colours in the range so you can see what is available in there. Let's move these out the way. And my protection paper. So here are some other designs that I've done. This one uses much more of a purple and blue scheme, and then I got the orange one recently. It was the only one I didn't have, so I was just testing that out there, so ignore that bit, but this bit looks really pretty. Here's one where I tried mixing some colours. So for this one, I sprayed it all on and let it dry, and then once it was dry, I put the green on again on top and sprayed it again. When you spray it again, what's already on there will still react to that water, but the new powder will react more, which is why it's still fairly separated on the top. Here's one with some blue and gold, and you can get gold and silver powder, and they really do shine in the light. I'm trying to get that shimmer for you, but the gold is really pretty and looks luxurious. I wanted to try and make a rainbow, so for this one I used some masking tape to go down in straight lines, and then I did sort of one edge at a time. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, apart from you can see a few little bits of white between the lines where I didn't quite have my tape lined up. So this is something I'm going to be trying again to try and perfect the technique, and once I have that mastered, I'll do a video for you on how to make backgrounds like this. This is one that I was doing just to test out all the different colour bottles, which is why it's all quite separate. So this just shows you a few of the extra colours that you can get. And then again, this one was just playing something really colourful, which would look great as the background to a greetings card. This one is blue, and I've done it a lot smaller on the page because I think it would look nice cut into a rectangle so that you can see all of these edges. And this one isn't on watercolour paper, it's on kind of a linen effect paper, which didn't work as well as watercolour, but it still worked pretty well. And then finally, I've got this one, which is all the different kinds of green, and there's some gold. And you can see I've already used this for a card. So I was cutting it into butterfly shapes using my Cricut machine after I'd done all the painting and it was dry. And this just shows you how you can use it to make really special glitzy toppers with your Cricut to go on your handmade cards. Or if you don't have a Cricut, but you do have some punches or a Sizzix machine or something like that, you could use it with your die cutting machine to make these lovely shapes. There are just a couple more things left to show you, and one is a greetings card that I have finished using this technique. Here's the card that I made, and this was cut with the Cricut to make the butterfly effect and the wings pop out. But the background here was made with the Nuvo shimmer powders, and it's so pretty. It works really well on a card, so I just wanted to show you a finished card so you could get an idea of what it does look like. And then I've got some little dots on here. I'm not sure if you can see, but this is also another Nuvo product called Glitter Drops. And it's kind of like a glitter glue, but it dries 3D in these perfect little circles. And that looks really nice when it's put on top of the shimmer powder backgrounds. Finally, I've got an experiment to show you. I thought that these shimmer powders would look good on a canvas. So here is my test canvas, and you know, it's a bit of a mess, but what I did was I cut some vinyl with my Cricut machine, so removable vinyl, and stuck it onto the canvas, and then I sprayed around it with the shimmer powder, and then when it was dry I peeled up the vinyl. And I was hoping it would be a bit more perfect around the edges, but you can see it did bleed. So this is still a work in progress. I've bought another couple of canvases to give it another go and see if I can work out how to stop the bleed underneath. Because once I've nailed that, I think this will be a beautiful way to make canvases. It's so shiny and shimmery, and you can add all the rainbow colours, and it'll be really, really nice once I've worked out how to stop the paint from going underneath the vinyl. So this is something I'm working on, so you should expect another video probably in a few months on how to make canvases with the Nuvo shimmer powders. But for now, I hope this video has given you a good introduction to the product and helped you to see how to use it and some of the different ways that you can use it in your craft projects. I hope that you enjoyed this video on how to use Nuvo shimmer powder on your handmade cards. I also hope that I've given you a little bit of inspiration on the different ways that you can use it. And if you do have these shimmer powders and you use them on your handmade cards, I would love to see a photo. So check out the link in the description to visit my Facebook group and share all of your wonderful crafts in there. I'd really, really like to see them. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to make sure you don't miss out on any of the Halloween Craft Countdown posts. Go to craftwithsarah.com/Halloween 2021 to sign up for free. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!